Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rambles and Recaps. I'm your host, Mimics Mayhem, and I'm joined today by my lovely co-host, Lord
Hi.
Squishy. Hi. You said it. Yay. I
Got him.
interrupted you. Yeah. No, you got me before I could actually fully finish. That's funny. Um. Welcome in, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about Daredevil Born Again. And for those who don't know, we are two giant comic book nerds. And this is right in our wheelhouse because we both love Daredevil.
I'm not a fan of DareDevil. I've just read a bunch of his comics growing up and watched the show a bunch because he has good content.
Yeah, that totally doesn't make you a fan. That totally doesn't. It's not like you literally bought me the comic that is supposed to inspire this show.
It's a good comic.
It's a really good comic. I agree. I am not as much of a super fan as Squishy is, but I do love this show, and I do love Daredevil as a character. To go ahead and get the ball rolling, I will say I was very excited to hear that they were continuing Daredevil's story, albeit with the understanding that, like, the ending of the last season from Netflix did feel final. Did feel like...
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was very final and very much felt like a good bookend. But I'm always excited to see characters get new stories because I'm a comic book fan. The ending is never the ending. It's always a new beginning. I don't know about you, but like all the Netflix shows kind of had at least somewhat of a decent ending, or at least it opened enough that it left you happy but curious.
Yeah, exactly. Like I saw someone break down why all the defenders weren't there for this season, because it kind of feels like they should be there in some way, but like all of their shows ended with a very finally, or they have them elsewhere and they're busy, so that's why they're not here, I guess.
I think at least Jessica should have been there personally, but that's just me loving, my Jessica Jones, who is a phenomenal actress playing Jessica. So I'm loving what I'm seeing her do now, and I'm hoping she might return soon for a Disney Plus show. Who knows? I am just kind of in the same boat as you. A lot's happening here that I feel like they would be a part of. Honestly, when I heard about the Mayor Fist situation, I was just like, are we gonna get Luke Cage? Because I feel like Luke Cage should be running against him here. That's the thing happening in the comics. Well, was happening in the comics very recently.
Yeah, for all the hype and stuff, this is clearly a different universe.
Different universe,
because the events of season 3 basically don't happen, and they're never really alluded to, besides the fact that Kingpin went to jail briefly, and that happened before the season finale too. So it's I kind of view this as a separate universe. A Kingpin in this universe has the super strength that he has from the Hawkeye show. So he's just I think that's how we have to put it, because if it's in the context, and I saw a lot of hate for it because because people wanted this expecting a continuation when it really kind of isn't.
The only thing that continues is the writers wanting to traumatize us by dangling Matt's friends as cannon fodder.
True, and plus that's just the Daredevil tradition. So it is. It's perfectly in characters.
Very in character. Very much is a situation where, Foggy and our lovely Karen are just hanging out on the side of the street. That's not gonna last long.
And that was another thing too. I see a lot of hate because I see a lot of hate because Karen and Foggy was the heart of the show in the
Netflix series.
Netflix show, right? And I can like totally sympathize that. But I, as a comic reader, have seen Foggy and Karen die so many times. Foggy like recently it died again. By the way,
like again.
Yeah. Like it turns out that he was in hell all this time since his last resurrection, and so Daredevil and Elektra have to like go to hell to fight him.
I feel so bad for Foggy Nelson.
I was so fresh off of that, and that what happened in the show. I just made a joke because
he literally was just like kind of like a tiny chuckle, and then a joke, and I was just like, Foggy's dead, and he's like, yeah, but like Foggy dies off. I'm like, yeah, he does. We could still be sad.
I can sympathize. I can sympathize because if you've never seen or like Foggy, and your only exposure to him was the show, then you had him for 3 seasons. He was this full and this developed a character, and then they kill him in the first scene of this season. Like what?
I mean, listen, I always say you should be able, not you have to, but you should be able to kill your darlings. You should be able to cut the rope. You should be able to slice the throat. You should be able to do all those things with them. But it does make it interesting when that's like the first full scene you're getting. Yeah. Does it make it incredibly thematic? Yes, because I will go ahead and spoil this right off the bat because you're seeing in the first 10 minutes. Foggy's heartbeat is the tempo of the entire first fight.
It was so good. It
was so well done. And I love that you got to see every character who's going to be in the show's reaction time in that fight sequence. Sure, some of them weren't there, but you can kind of feel their essence here and there. But you saw Karen struggling to reach for the gun, kind of showing that she's not going to be fully a part of the narrative. Whereas characters that are retired are getting the fuck out or assisting where they can. And then you have the police captain who's kind of looking around, trying to assess the danger and realizing I'm in over my head here. Well, not the police captain, but the lieutenant. I don't know her name specifically, but she
the police officer.
The police officer. Chen, exactly. Chen was looking around and seeing what she could do and realized, oh, I can't do shit here. I'm going to get out. And then you had Charlie Cox's, Matt Murdock's soon-to-be partner at his law firm, trying to help Karen. Heather. Trying to help Karen with Foggy and be like, oh shit, it's all collapsing around them. And even the title sequence shows the collapsing nature of this season. Everything is coming to a head, everything in the city, all of the structures and support systems inside the city are collapsing to build up to the next season's conflict, which is my first thought in this show, guys, is this season was definitely made just to set up a season 2.
Yes.
I hate when this happens, and it's so common in streaming era now. To get what you want to write, you kind of have to just have an entire season explaining why this is happening, and I hate it. It's still good television. All the actors are doing an amazing job, but it is my least favorite continuation of a very bad precedent set by Netflix and Disney Plus. Ugh.
I can see that, but I will disagree on one thing, and is that while yes, that is the goal to make this endless franchise. Mm-hmm. The goal of this season was to to kill and rebirth Daredevil and Kingpin. And I think because everyone was complaining about this show, half love it and half hate it. It's so divisive. But for me, what it succeeded on was it was showing the slow buildup of of like a Daredevil and the Kingpin. And the most interesting thing about like the Daredevil stories is the convergent storylines, where often Kingpin and like Daredevil, they are a great rivalry because they are growing in either like the same direction or in like opposite like directions. And I think that like this show is so phenomenally like comic accurate. It feels like a comic book story with the flaws included too.
I would definitely agree that it does feel like a comic book story. I mean, literally, some of the action sequences feel like right off the panel.
Oh yeah.
And I do love how like comic books and like modern day sitcoms, characters do have reoccurring roles. They will show back up here and there. It's not just like one-off extras every episode. You do build a narrative with everybody. Even that one character who shows up for like 5 minutes will show up again and for another 5 minutes near the end. It's nice. It feels real. It feels built.
Yeah.
I just wish that a lot of things didn't happen to this show because I know behind the scenes it was a mess. I mean, scheduling issues, actor conflicts, the writer's strike, which is a very valid reason for it to be a mess. Writers deserve to get paid. All creatives deserve to get paid a shit ton. And that's a firm belief of mine. It's like actors and writers have every right to strike to get fair wages. But you can definitely see the show and the different characters struggling to fit into the narrative. So it's built around them in separate portions. Like Vanessa.
And apparently she was not even in the season, apparently.
Yes, that's what I've heard. Like, she wasn't originally in the season, and then they put her in the season, then they couldn't get her, and then they got a replacement for her, and then they got her again, so to refilm everything, which is why, for the most part, you see her and Fisk together alone, for the most part.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, there's whole scenes like where she's not there and she's like a text or something.
Yes, exactly. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. That happens in comics too. Like, I mean, the person behind, like, there's a whole trope of the person behind the curtain, right? Like, that's gonna happen. You're gonna have characters that aren't fully there. That's fine. That's okay. I just find it very interesting that, like, characters that weren't announced and or characters that weren't planned to be there that got riots because of it, like Karen and Foggy weren't initially a part of this show until they were, and they brought the actors back, and then
yeah, so weird. Weird choice.
It was a very weird choice, and I'm so happy that, like, there is a chance for Karen Page to continue her story, because I mean, Deborah Ann Wall, I was going to say Wolf, Deborah Ann Wall is a phenomenal actress, and I love her story with John Berthnall's Frank Castle, the Punisher. I think that's beautiful. But like, I need these stories to continue and make sense, because otherwise, it's the MCU is something that, like, it's a grand trial, I think, for a continuing franchise, an endless franchise, right? Like we've talked about before. This is something that's never been done in movies or TV.
And it's probably not possible.
It's going to have an end, because there's no such thing as endless when it comes to movies or TV medium. There's always an end. But I kind of want to see how far this experiment can go and how much stress it can endure, because it's an upside down pyramid. You start from one spot and you build out. Now, what I thought was really smart of the MCU, I know not everyone agrees with this, but I thought it was really smart that, like, they had an hourglass shape for how they structured it, because the endpoint for phase 1 is phase 3, and then phase 4 is going to have an endpoint probably in phase 6. Whereas, like, like it's structured that way. That could technically work as long as you're not trying to, I don't know, bring back dead characters with actors that are really old that have finished their stories, and you're trying to just like cash in on nostalgia because it's been more than 10 years and you can do this. Oh wait, they're doing that. I'm so sorry. This is gonna fail. You can clip that and you can post it for when it happens, because it's gonna happen. It's gonna crash because they're not letting creative freedom be the precedent. They're trying to make money, and that's, I guess, valid to them, not to me. But my first thoughts are very much just, it's a great show. I do love to see new dynamics form in the city. I love to see new people try and take place. Old status quo. There are definitely some funny moments and some realizations that are happening inside the show that feel very current to me in the reality I live in.
Yeah.
That I cannot get into. But they are happening. It is kind of funny because this show is not written within the last 4 months, but it's happening. And it's just really engaging. I feel very much like it had me with a slow, tense start that slowly built like a racing heartbeat. And it exploded like the chief of police's head did at the end of the series. And that's my one spoiler for you.
No, yeah, like, I agree. I like the more slice of life like aspects where it's like, you know, like Matt tries to do it by the book, by the system, and he slowly loses faith, which is like very accurate, you know. Mm-hmm. But to learn that all those was the original plot, the original plot was a more like slice of life thing, and then they added like all of the like first episode and the last 2 episodes were all like reshoots apparently.
Oh my god! You know what? I believe that. I fully believe that. Oh my god! No, that makes a lot of sense because they even have like different vibes to them.
Yeah, yes, they did.
It also is where like Karen shows up the most. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, no, like that makes sense. I want to go ahead and get into talking about like favorite character moments or favorite episodes. And mine is kind of the hands down best episode. And I think the breaking point for the slice of life is the bank heist episode.
I was about to say the same thing.
It's such a good episode, right? Like it literally is the moment where like the tension finally builds to an explosion. What I love about this episode is that we actually get a connection to New Jersey, to Kamala, to Miss Marvel, by her dad working in a bank. And oh my god, he is such a proud father, and he talks about this young superhero girl, Miss Marvel, and he has a Pop Funko that he's made himself. It's amazing and wonderful, and I know it's just like showing Easter eggs, and it's not supposed to be genuine, but I just love the idea that Kamala's dad just works at a bank that just happened to be robbed. This wasn't like intentional. This is just like, oh yeah, he does work at this bank. This was already set up. Like, oh yeah, it's happening. That would be hilarious. But I know it's just like, hey, we need to make sure that everyone knows Kamala exists.
Yeah, no, like that was also my favorite episode because it was just the perfect like scheme, a perfect like hence like a situation, and a perfect showcase of Daredevil's like a trickery. You know, he's and he's not a stupid person. You know, he can like solve a problem.
He's very good at solving problems. I think my favorite line from the episode is, "You're blind and an orphan? Oh, I've got to keep him here."
Yeah, I know, right?
Like
and
that,
he used like a reverse like ableism.
he quite literally played into their into wow, so you're only letting me go because I'm blind. But like I love a bank heist episode. I think they're like the foundational core to like settings like this, where you have a character who is like street level who has to deal with a very tense bottleneck problem of something carbonated, so that's gonna blow. It's like it's a champagne problem. It's a champagne problem because once you uncap the lid, like you unspork it, whatever the fuck, it blows up, and that's what happens here. And
it is hilarious that you say that because it is a bottled episode where and the entire episode is in one set, and they and it did like to save money and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely to save money, and it's wonderful and amazing to see how that all works. Like in showbiz is like, oh yeah, no, we can save money. We don't need big elaborate sets or big green screens. Let's just build one set that has all of these things in it, and we're gonna stay on it. I thought seeing Chen have like her moment of like trying to get the bank robbers to laugh, I thought that was great.
Yeah, it was great.
Again, we're getting to see her in small doses. We're building up her character. I absolutely loved when Matt finally broke. He realized the guys got what they wanted, and so he followed one of them out there, and he just beat the shit out of him.
He broke his neck. It was like, oh my god, it was an Arkham takedown.
It really was just like Batman taking down everything. And the thing is, guys, my internet crapped out in the middle of us watching that, and I was like, we need to go back. We need to go back. I need to see the full thing again. I think that's like my favorite episode.
Yeah. Same. I will admit though, I think I would not have enjoyed it as much if Yusuf Khan wasn't there, because I feel like he was like the heart. He was like the heart of that like episode.
Oh, he was fully like the heart and soul of that episode. I do not want another episode like that without him there. Yeah, I want him to show up in season 2, and I want him to have to be dealing with bank problems then. But maybe this time his daughter is visiting his work as like a whole thing of just like seeing what her dad does as an adult, and then like something happens, and Daredevil is like wondering why this little girl is like so adamant like about staying right next to her father and like not leaving, and then like they both have a moment where like something happens, and she's like, can you see? Are you faking being a blind man right now?
That's what I want more of. And it's people not thinking that he's like a daredevil or that like a superhero, but that he's faking being blind.
And the thing is, Ahmad Vellani, who plays Miss Marvel in this cinematic universe, would absolutely full ham do it. She would. I have no doubts whatsoever. I am an Ahmad Vellani stan. If you do not like that, get off the fuck of the get off this channel. Get out of here. Go read some comic books, because that's what she does. She is a reader of the arts, okay? You cannot trash her acting, or her writing until you are on the same grounds as her as a nerd. Because she is one. She leaves full reviews of every Marvel movie on her page. It's hilarious. I love it so much. Which, like, again, I think she should definitely guest next season. I feel like it was a missed opportunity not to have She-Hulk show up in the show when Matt showed up in hers. I feel like that would have been a really good opportunity in this series. Maybe we'll do it in season 2.
I think the lack of cameos, I mean,
it works really well for this show. It does.
If you want to if you want to get into it, the end of this, it implies a big event, right? And by the end, it makes no sense that no other real superhero, except for the few vigilantes that are in this season, show up. There's where is Spider-Man? He's here somewhere.
Do you guys think? Do you guys think that Elektra has come back from the dead yet?
Right?
She died, and then she came back in the Defenders, and then she died again. So do you think she's gonna? Do you think she's gonna? Because it's a whole complex. It's the Elektra complex. Are we gonna get Elektra coming back because she's angry at her dad? I think we are. I
And
think
we have like the Echo show too, right? So it's like a bunch of stuff.
Honestly, I would love. I need to watch the Echo show. I need to. It's been on my
Where's
list.
like, and plus Kate's in the city too, right? Like
Kate. Oh my
Kate?
god,
Like,
Kate would absolutely wreck the Kingpin. I know she would.
Mostly,
Mostly,
and she knows Kingpin.
I know she does. I know she does, and she also knows Sword. Well, I'm gonna say the wrong one.
The Swordman, yeah.
Swordman. She also knows Swordman because I think that's like her stepfather or almost stepfather. And I think like she also knows Yelena, who apparently is a part of.
He's related to both weapon fathers, really.
Yeah, I know. I know.
The bow master and the sword master.
I know. It's crazy, right? It's crazy.
That's so funny.
I mean, it kind of makes sense for Kate. So for those of you guys who don't know in comics, Kate does take a lot of like martial arts and like self-defense courses and slowly builds up her repertoire of weapons. Because there's there's some trigger warnings I'm not gonna say just because I don't want the video to be possibly demonetized. But Kate's been through it and she doesn't want anything like that ever happening again. So she's made herself into a weapon. So like it makes sense that like she has this background in this world without having the background that like is comic accurate to her. Like they put in a good replacement for it. Yeah. Albeit I feel like it's a little bit more shallow because I feel like you can get gritty in Marvel. There's no problem with that because you have the whole Red Room situation, and they were more than fine having a throwaway line about Natasha being barren because like being barren because they literally take it from you. They had no problem being that throwaway line. I know it's a Joss Whedon thing. We can speak all day about that, but that's not the topic of the video. I'm just saying. You can be gritty. You have characters like Kingpin and Daredevil now. You can be open about it. But like more characters definitely could come in. I think personally, I just want Tatiana Maslany back in the MCU. She's a delight. She's great on the camera. And She-Hulk was such a fun show. I don't care what your opinions are on it. It's a fun show that feels like a She-Hulk comic.
And the funniest, a meme that I saw of the show was the Daredevil finale. If he had a group chat, and it's like a She-Hulk, Kate, Defenders, Spider-Man. It's like if he had like a group chat, and he would solve this so fast.
Kate's just like, wait, you can text because she's stupid. Wait. But no, like I do think that Daredevil is a great show. I think my one big problem with Matt this season, and I know he doesn't want to open about his life as Daredevil, but when he starts to experience that life again, and he does not tell his new partner at his law firm about it, now that's when
standard for Daredevil, actually.
Okay, but after everything he went through with having his partner have a hit put on him, do you not think it would be important to tell the woman?
True.
Especially when other people at that law firm know. Like, come on now. I get that they're trying to set her up. Everyone is being set up for the next season. I just wanted her to have a little bit more grace given. I did. I think it's like that's like my favorite episode. My favorite character has to be not an actual character, but the sense of dread and doubt that just follows. What's his like love interest name? I forgot her name.
I was going to say Natasha. That guy shows the impact that she had.
She's a very interesting character, but she is falling into the trope of Daredevil love interests that aren't Karen Page. That you need to have more screen time And she has a lot. She has a lot, but she doesn't have enough screen time to overshadow the story of Karen, which had 3 seasons to build.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna look it up real quick because I cannot stand not knowing. Her name was Heather Glenn, and she is a very interesting character who I do wish was able to kind of read more into Matt and Daredevil. Like, because for a therapist who like can see something is going on with her blind partner and he has these bruises, and sure, he did just go through a grievous thing, but these bruises don't look like they came from someone who's just like beating him up on the side. This looks like a deliberate person attacking him for very specific reasons. Was a little bit smarter.
This is why Matt's disguise is so good. It's because she's thinking, like, no way. And there's no way my blind boyfriend is a vigilante. He's blind. That makes no sense.
Oh my god, you're right. I hate it. But no, like I really do think that Heather is a fun character as like my fucking god, like you're even saying your ex's name while you're recovering from this. Oh. And like she doesn't believe that, you know, like Matt's sane enough and she just can't go through it. I completely understand that from the perspective. Right. She's right. He's fucking deranged. And he's not communicating why she can't go be therapist of Fisk properly. He's not just scared that she's now in the line of sight of Fisk, and he's like, oh shit, she's gonna die. I need to save her. I'm gonna yell at her to save her. That will work. Matt, when has it ever worked for you? I need you to answer that. When has it ever worked for you to yell at a person to not get involved with Fisk? I'm going to tell you this, not once. Every time they're just like, oh, you're crazy, Matt. And then they work with Fisk and then they die.
It's extremely consistent.
Yeah, it's honestly like the most consistent thing about your character is you think this is going to do something when we know it won't. It's a definition of insanity. Ugh.
I think for my fave, it might, because it's surprising, because he only had 2 like episodes. It might be Bullseye for pure atmosphere. I
mean, he does have atmosphere quality, right?
Just like Kingpin, where he like got upgraded, Bullseye got upgraded because of the show. He was just a pretty deadly dude that can throw things. Here he has his like comic like accurate throwing ability, and he's a like terror force. Like he just like he as I watched that like our scene like a few times because there's like so much stuff happening. So it's so fast. But you can literally see him. He is killing people with the like cups at the bar and the pool balls.
Yeah,
at the bar, yeah. and he's just like throwing it like at their skulls and their throats, and they're dying, and it's like instant. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like he's just. Like, if you're in his range, you're done. Like,
Lilac is also, like, the bar scene is literally, like, insane. But his prison escape, where he literally uses a tooth to get shit done, is, oh my god. Why did you even...
You could argue that like, hoof kill is, like... You could argue that that's his most like famous like kill, like his most out of box kill.
It absolutely is.
It's a hoof shot, and it perfectly. They saved it, you know, like from the very end, and then his escape, you know, like leads to probably my favorite scene in the entire show, where he is like disguised as like. I mean, this like guard with a gun, and you don't know who he's gonna shoot.
No, you don't know who he's gonna shoot, and when it turns out to be Fisk, Daredevil throws himself in front of it. And what I love is that while we were watching all of that, and we were watching all of it, we didn't know what was gonna happen. I was kind of talking about how like Vanessa is wearing red to show that she like has blood all over her, that she's
Oh
kind of
yeah, yeah,
behind everything. And Fisk
yeah.
is wearing white to show that like for once he's innocent. He doesn't have any blood on his hands. But as soon as Daredevil is shot, it kind of sends him in a frenzy of like, okay, well if we're gonna break the
How dare he
law,
take me?
how dare you break me? If we're gonna break the law now, I'm gonna break all the laws. And mind you, he's doing some fucked up shit to Adam. I'm not saying that he's innocent, but on a grand scale, he's not been overwhelmingly causing
Yeah,
harm
like
outside the system. He's been
he has been trying to reform, like truly, and and we get the vibe with the weirdest breakfast ever: a single asparagus and a single egg.
Listen, he's trying to
To
lose
show that he's
weight.
losing weight.
I
But
get
then
that journey. I understand.
and then and then to show that he's like slowly going to bed, we show him with a big plate of pasta to show that
He's done.
No, he is gaining weight again now.
He's bulking. He's bulking for what he's getting ready to do.
He's bulking. Yeah.
He's got to get all those carbs, get his protein up, get the calorie intake higher. But no, like I do like the representation of like when we see Kingpin in his like element and when we are seeing him outside of it. Now,
Yes, true.
one thing I absolutely have to mention, and I'm going to be remiss if I don't, my actual favorite character. She's only in it for a few scenes, but Karen, my God, my love.
Oh yes, yes.
Like the way that she comes in clutch with like, he owed me a favor. Here's
So
the
much.
Punisher, and then like with only just like a few lines, she's able to give Matt hope.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Like that scene completely like encapsulated why he needs Karen because he was about to do a suicide mission there.
He absolutely was, and I really love, even if they're only friends, him having hope is necessary, and that's what Karen is. And I'm so happy that in this Born Again story, they didn't make her a heroin addict, washed up porn star.
Yes, that was a thing that happened
in the comics. And again, there's nothing wrong with either of those as long as you are not harming yourself in a massive, big way. Again, heroin addict, not a good thing. I'm just saying, I'm not anti like you getting help because you're a heroin addict. I need to make that very clear. But like washed up porn star, girl, that's just like a normal Gen Zer at this point.
And plus, like in the old show, the only time they even like allude to it is to mention that Karen has a history of addiction. That's it. Like that's all
and that's fine.
That's all they mentioned.
That's like all that they really need to show because like
exactly.
What was being done to Karen in those comics was vitriolic and it was violent and it was unnecessary. And I will never not look at that author and think, wow.
Frank Miller?
Mm-hmm. I will never not look at Frank Miller and be like, wow, who do you hate? Who do you hate so much that you do this to more than just Karen? Let's be real. A lot of the women in his books suffer.
Yep.
And like, again, I'm just saying, I love Karen. She gives a lot of hope and energy to the screen, and I can't wait to see her in season 2 because I'm demanding that she be in like majority of season 2. I still get chills I get chills about the episode where she like gets her first kill on screen, where the guy is like has her in his warehouse or his office, and like she gets the gun and she shoots him. Cause like he's like because like he's like I know who you are. You're not a killer, and she does it. Like it's truly just a thing of like, no, you don't know who I am. I am kind of I'm a wild card in this. I am not from Hell's Kitchen, bitch. It's wonderful. 10 out of 10. We could use more of that. More wild cards in Marvel, please. Honestly, yeah, no. We need more wild cards. Because, like, even with the Thunderbolts, I won't even say that there are many wild cards on the field. They're all kind of samey. Everyone's kind of at the same gimmick right now. Maybe I'm gonna get
somewhat dark, somewhat edgy anti-hero with a heart of gold.
Yeah, it's what Marvel likes writing best. So maybe that's what we need. Maybe the Ironheart show coming out is gonna blow us out of the water, and we'll have a completely new dynamic to look at. Maybe. I'm holding hope for you, Riri. The X-Men, Exceptional X-Men is gonna have her in a comic soon. Maybe we'll get a good building foundation for her there. Anyway, not gonna like get past my hopes. My final thoughts, right? Because we know about their characters, their favorite episodes. I gotta say, this show is wonderful. It brought me back into loving Daredevil again. I almost want to read the Chip Zdarsky run. I do.
No fear. Like, that run is kind of like pseudo inspired by the season, because it has the premise of like he basically like retires for a bit, and the city is like, well, fuck. Turns out that Daredevil was quite important. was doing a lot of work.
And you know what? That's kind of why I want to read it. But like at the same time, I'm like, I need what they were actually wanting to do, aka season 2, to really know what I'm getting into when it comes to the comics. Just because that's how I pick up non-X-Men books. I look at the media that is going out about them, and or if they have no media about them in MC, I'm like, oh, sign me up. They haven't been ruined yet. Perfect. Daredevil and Jessica Jones are the only ones that like and Luke Cage's show was good. That like I could just be like, yeah, no, like they inspired me to want to read them, whereas a lot of other characters in the MCU have, I'm like, I'm gonna read what happened before you were taken. Understood.
Transformed.
Flanderized. Like my final thoughts are, Daredevil Born Again is definitely a show to watch. And you can watch it without watching any of the other Disney Plus shows, I'm pretty sure. Except maybe watch Miss Marvel. You'll love Miss Marvel. And you should watch She-Hulk, just because She-Hulk. But it doesn't have anything impact on your viewing. I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. High ranking for me. How about you?
Wow.
What are your final thoughts and your ranking?
I would say my five thoughts is, it's a solid show despite all the reshoots. I would say that goes in its favor, that like it was still such a solid show despite so many things like going wrong.
Yep.
But to me, the total package, now that it's in the shared universe, and just the execution of, like, I do want it to be better, and I am excited for season 2. But for me, it's going to be an 8, because just the storylines, you could tell this joint, and it did kind of make, and from what we can tell, right, the main plot of the pre-reshoots seemed terrible. There's no Kingpin, there's no Bullseye, there's no Karen.
It's very much just this is Daredevil.
All the best parts of the show.
This is Daredevil and his Eat, Pray, Love tour. That's what it was. I'm down for that, as long as there's like signs that the other characters exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a FaceTime call with the character. Listen, that's what they had to do in the pandemic era when they wanted to have a character show up, but like the whole like I'm in Mexico right now, or like on one show there, like a character left for their honeymoon before COVID started. Like not before COVID started, before they left, the character at the end of that season left for their honeymoon. And so when the new season started after the pandemic had started, They were like, yeah, no, I'm loving my honeymoon so much. I'm not coming back for a while, guys, on FaceTime. And I was just like,
So
wow,
funny.
that was the only way they could get the character / actor to show up, was because strict guidelines. I love it. 10 out of 10. Working with your best ammo there, I guess. But no, an 8 and a 9. You know what? This is like one of the higher ranking shows. I will say, because I'm a Sith and I only deal in absolutes, even though this is a rounded number, do you want to go up or down for it? Because no, 8.5.
I'm fine with going up.
Okay, it is an absolute 9. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's Rambles and Recaps. Again, I've been Mimics. That was my host, the lovely Lord Squishy. And if you're interested in finding out what we're going to be reacting to next time, it's going to be a little bit of a celebration of Pride Month, as the next episode of Rambles and Recaps will be airing in that time. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll keep you posted soon. Bye!